Well, back at the plot once again, and it is lovely to be here. What a great day. It's Thursday morning. I'm going to try and get this out for Thursday evening. So if you're watching this on Thursday evening, I have succeeded. If you're watching it on Friday or Saturday or Sunday, I haven't. Time is a little bit against me today. I'm up here. I'm supposed to be on a day off from work. I've got to go into a call in about half an hour, an urgent call to join. Supposed to be having my Christmas lunch this afternoon with work. We'll see how everything pans out, but it is a glorious day. Look at the early morning sunshine. So it's about, I don't know, say early morning, it's probably about 10 o'clock by now, is it? 9:30, 10 o'clock-ish, thereabouts. And we've got some jobs that I've been meaning to probably do for the last 2-3 weeks, but I've been incredibly busy with a lot of life changes going on. And I should mention that if you want to know a little bit more about what's been going on, what I've been up to, what I've been doing, there's some extra content on Patreon. Now, I don't mention a lot, I don't say a lot about Patreon, I don't push it, but if you do want to support the channel, you want to see the extra content, see what's been going on, link down below in the description, I'll take you to Patreon, have a mooch about, see what you think, sign up, don't sign up, entirely up to you. Never, ever be any pressure from me for anything like that. But anyway, we're here to do some jobs, got a couple of jobs to do. Let me just show you a couple of things first of all. I'm just going to spin you around and we'll just have a look at a couple of things. So first things first is, remember we've had the rats have been in and about and doing stuff, and they've been back, I think, but they've not caused too much damage. Let's just come up here and have a look. Now you can see possibly just down here there's been some more digging going on, but there's not really been any damage done to the leeks. You can see they're all here. I've still got this sort of plan in my head to get all these harvested really quickly. Now you can see there's quite a lot here, and there's some more leeks still on the other side, so it's going to take a bit of doing to get them all. There has been some signs of nibbling. There's a little bit of nibbling here, but remember last year all of these were just sort of taken right down to ground level and they were absolutely destroyed. Now I've not looked in the carrot bed, which is the other thing. Let's do this live. Let's pick this up and tip them back. Now the carrots are looking a bit sorry for themselves, but we've had some really cold weather recently, so they're not looking great. They do need harvesting, they need taken out. They're not going to really get damaged, no real sort of detriment to them in the ground there as they are, but it doesn't look like anything has been nibbling them. And let's just pull one out. I've pulled a good one out there, isn't I? I'm glad I pulled that one out, not one of the sort of funny shaped ones that come out that you don't see on camera. You only see the good ones, but there you go, that's a beauty. And there's no damage in there, there's been no digging in there. The only little sort of holes and things you can see are where I've taken the carrots out. Let's just have a quick scoot over here again, just moving away from the sunshine there, where we've got the other leeks. Now a couple of these have bolted actually, looking at them, and there's been a little bit more digging. I don't know if you can quite see it, but just here they've sort of dug in and had a bit of a mooch about. But again, little bit of nibbling, tiny little bits, but not too much damage. Again, we're going to try and get those harvested and get them away nice and quick and early. So that's a good start for the day, because I've probably not been here for about 10 days. Like I say, been incredibly busy, lots and lots going on in real life. Again, Patreon, find out all about that. So what am I up to today? It's about time I got stuff planted out, and I need desperately to get stuff planted out. So we've got the garlic with us, we've got the senchu overwintering onions, we've got the garlic in the bucket that I think I'm going to put in the polytunnel. I'll show you that in a minute. It's looking really good. We've got the elephant garlic to go out. So I just need 10 minutes to form a bit of a plan in my head, what's going to get planted out where they're going to go. I'll come back to you and we'll have a bit of a chat. So back with you in just a jiffy. Right, work call's all done and dusted for the day. Now time to get on with the really important stuff, getting the garlic out. We've got two different types in this tray. This one here, I can't pronounce this one. Somebody please tell me in the comments down below how to pronounce it. Carcinon, I think that's how it's pronounced anyway. And the other one here is Provence White, much easier to pronounce. Remember, we got these from Ian at Grown Local. Links down below in the description. Go and see Ian's store, absolutely fabulous. This is the usual garlic bed. Terrible garlic last year. It's in the video when I was doing the prep. You know, some people do prep for garlic, some people put them in little trays like this, some people plant them out directly. I like to give them a bit of a head start. Look at the lovely, lovely root systems just poking out the bottom there. By the way, when you're using these trays, a good time, a good sort of indicator to know when it's time to move things on or plant them out is when you start seeing roots poking out the bottom. So we're just going to pop these out. Let's just get the first one there. Look at that, the roots look absolutely beautiful on the bottom. They're not really root bound or pot bound yet. They're just ever so slightly starting to loop around at the bottom there, so it's just about perfect. I've caught them just in the right time. Little shoot, tiny little green shoot, a little bit of a weed or something going there. Tiny little shoot just poking out the top. Perfect timing. And time to get my favourite tool of all out, the Hori Hori knife. By the way, anybody looking to get anything, well, I say anybody anything for Christmas, the gardener in your life anything for Christmas, and they don't have one, get a Hori Hori knife. Honestly, again, link down below in the description, but I use this for everything. It's probably my most used tool at the allotment. I use it for digging holes, for putting plants in, lifting weeds, all sorts of stuff, cutting open compost bags, you name it. I use it. It's not a really, really sharp blade. I mean, it's sharp enough, but it's the point, it's the way it works. Absolutely fabulous. So we've got our little garlic bulb here, clove I should say, that's grown nicely. We're going to put a little sprinkle of blood, fish and bone in the hole there. And thanks to Pete Trenwith, go and check out his channel, link below in the description. He mentioned, and I just happen to have some from last year, mycorrhizal fungi, about using that. I can't remember what it was, whether it was garlic or onions that Pete mentioned it. But I'm just putting just a pinch with my, you know, my finger and my thumb. That's all I'm putting in there. And apparently it's going to work wonders. So we're going to give that a try. And I'm poking it in, I'm pushing it in. If you remember, when I put the garlic out, when I put it in these trays, normally I plant garlic really shallow, like sort of a quarter of the clove poking out the top. And a lot of people had said about putting it in a little bit deeper. So you've put it in a little bit deeper. And again, when I've planted it out, and I'll show you all this at the end here when I've done it all, I've just really got the little green top poking up out of the compost here in this bed. And speaking of this bed, it's been prepped. It was prepped a while ago. I'm not going to go over too much. Look at that, another lovely one. Again, just caught it in time for that. And I'm probably, another use of the Hori Hori, in terms of spacing for the garlic, I'm probably going to do them at blades width apart in terms of how much space I'm giving them with the Hori Hori. So again, another shout out to the Hori Hori for that. In the past, I've been guilty, I think, of squashing them in a little bit and sort of trying to fit too many into one bed, and and I've just realised I'm doing a pinch. There's an actual measuring scoop inside the bag of the mycorrhizal fungi. So we'll use a scoopful in the hole because the scoop's obviously designed for that exact purpose. So we'll do that. Anyway, I'm going all over the place here, honestly. So yeah, I've even forgotten where I am. Yes, the Hori Hori knife. The bed prep, right? I was prepping the bed, so I did it a while ago. And there's nothing massively special to it. I'm not going to go over it again. You wanna see about how I prep the bed, go and have a look at the bed prep video about doing it. It's really, really straightforward, really simple, very, very much the way I prep all my beds and all the sort of stuff that I do around here. Very, very sort of samey for most of the stuff. But one thing I have done this morning is when I came here, that wasn't in that video of prepping the bed, was I have added about 1/2 to 3/4 of a bag of fresh compost on the top here. Just adds a little bit of nutrition into the ground there. I mean, I did add more nutrition in there when I prepped the bed, but you know, a little bit of fresh compost never does any harm. Anyway, I'm going to get the rest of these planted out. There's about another 1/2 dozen to a dozen here of the ones I want to put in this bed in terms of spacing. Another bed over there and another bed over there for the onions. We'll come to them in a minute. I'll get these sorted and I'll come back to you in just a jiffy. So we've been making some progress, not all the progress I wanted to make, but we'll come to that in just a jiffy. A couple of things I have learned. One is I need a bigger bag of mycorrhizal fungi if I'm going to use it. Two is, you know that scoop I showed you, how I found a scoop to use instead of just using a pinch? I don't think that was the right idea. One, the bag's not very big and it was pretty expensive. That little bag that I showed you, I think that was about a tenner. I need to source some that's a little bit cheaper if I can, so I'm going to do a bit of shopping around on that. a whole scoopful seemed like an awful lot to me for one haul. So I used kind of one scoop for the entire row, and I think I've got either 5 or 6 cloves in each row. So you see a little sprinkle on each one. I think that'll be more than enough. Anyway, I also haven't got the onions planted out. I've got all the garlic done, so those 2 different types of garlic that I showed you, and the elephant garlic, that's out as well. Now I've got some garlic in a bucket over there. Remember the garlic video when I did it? We're doing it in the bucket as well, just to give it a try. And I'll show you that in just a second, because there's something interesting with the roots happening in that already, so we'll have a look at that. But let me spin you around and show you how we're looking in the beds. So this again is the main sort of garlic bed, and some of them you can see, I was talking about how the tops are just poking up there. You can see the ones that have got a decent size shoot on them, they're just sort of just poking up. Some of them aren't, some of them weren't shooting up too much, so you can't see them. Hopefully, you know, obviously over time they're gonna come up and look good in there. And in this bed here, we've got more garlic in there, exactly the same, except along this sort of front edge, all the way along here is where I've got, is it 5 elephant garlic. I've been, again, quite generous in the space, and the bed's not massive, it's just a normal size pallet collar. But you know what it is, if we have a little bit of a look around, look, I've got all these different beds, right? And I think last year, especially down this end, down and around here, and down and around here, just in front of the raspberries, I ended up with empty beds. So I've been quite generous with my space, and you know, historically I've squashed things in and it's not been ideal. So this time we've been generous. Everything's got a lot of space. They've got loads of nutrition. They've got the mycorrhizal fungi. We've got the good garlic from Ian. And the reason I'm saying this is because if it doesn't grow properly this year, I'm quite honestly, I'm going to blame Pete and I'm going to blame Ian and not myself. And also, while you've been away, one other thing I mentioned I was doing while I was here was getting some leeks and carrots. And let's just have a look down here. Now again, the leeks probably would have got a little bit bigger. I could have left them over winter. They maybe would have got a bit fatter. But you know what? Hey, they're not too bad. And as always, sweet candle carrots, I mean, look at them, they're absolute beauties. I don't have enough good things to say about sweet candle carrots, you know. There's some varieties of things that I wax lyrical about and I love, and I really enjoy doing them, like King of the North peppers in the polytunnel, the Carmen F1 cucumbers that I do every year, bold hardy beetroot, sweet candle carrots. Honestly, I'm a big advocate of trying lots of different things, different seeds. One of the best things about growing your own food, your own produce, is you can try absolutely everything. Go to the garden centre, go online to the seed catalogues, do whatever, pick what you want, try different things. But there are some things that are an absolute must for me, and they are absolutely on the list. And the other thing I wanted to show you, don't worry, I haven't forgotten. Well, I have forgotten, which is why there might have been a little bit of a funny cut in the video there, because I did forget to do this. I was on my way out and I saw the bucket and I thought, I've forgotten to show everybody the garlic in the bucket, and it's looking magic. Remember, we copied this off Eli and Kate. You can't hide, we're stealing your ideas. Let me just spin you around and show you this. So the garlic in the bucket, I've just put it here next to the polytunnel, gives it a little bit of shelter, but it's still outside, exposed to the elements. Look at it, it's looking brilliant. They're absolutely flying. It's so much bigger than the garlic that's been in the little cell trays. And I guess there's a lot more access to nutrition and compost and things like that in there. I will probably top the compost up in this bucket a little bit, bring it up another 3 inches maybe in there, just bring it up, just protect them a bit. And the one thing I didn't let me see if I can do this, so I've got one hand on the camera, one hand on the bucket, the roots are starting to come out the bottom of the bucket already. So we've put it on top of the wood chip in this little gap here, so the roots can bury themselves down in that wood chip and take nutrition from that, and hopefully it'll be smashing. Because I don't need to be, I've put it here on purpose, because it's not somewhere during the sort of winter, spring, autumn, summer, any season, any month, it doesn't matter which one, or if you have them in the right order. I'm not going to be walking up and down this little bit here. So I've put it there, so that bucket can stay there now, from now until they're ready to harvest. So we're just going to leave them there and we'll see what they're like when it comes to harvest them. So there we have it. I might not have achieved everything I wanted to achieve today, but hey, you know what? That's life. Sometimes that happens. We don't get everything done, and that's all right. I'm going to pop to the shop at some point and buy some overpriced mycorrhizal fungi, so when I plant out the sort of Japanese onions, essentially they're over the winter. I'm back up on Saturday, maybe Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, don't know which day. There'll be more content coming out over the weekend. We'll get the onions out. I've got 1,000,001 jobs to do here, there's loads to do at home, I'm miles behind and everything. But one thing I wanted to show you, look, let's just turn around and so this is a big bulk of the allotment plot behind me over here in the distance, and normally it's all really grown up and there's loads of greenery and stuff, and people have got covers on beds and all. So let's just walk up here a little bit more, and you generally can't see loads up that way, but I was just noticing today when I was sort of pottering about doing bits and pieces that it's all really open. With it being winter, everything's died back. Loads of people taking covers off beds and tunnels and stuff like that. And you can see all the way over. It's just nice. It was just different. I think it's just a nice day. The sun's shining. It's about 9 or 10 degrees. It's not freezing cold. You can see I've just got my shirt on. I'm not wearing a jacket. I've got a hat on. Despite my lack of hair, there's no hat on to keep me warm. It's just been a pretty good day getting stuff sorted. And on that note, that is me done. I am off to enjoy my work's Christmas night out. I might have a beer or 2 or 10 and the odd whiskey. We will see how the night goes and where it takes us. But that's me done for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. See you later, folks.